Second graders, before we left school for Thanksgiving vacation, we read a couple great stories. Do you remember them? Owl Moon by Jane Yolen and The Leaving Morning by Angela Johnson. And we talked about the fact that these are professional writers. They have written other books, and as you can see at the top of Owl Moon, Jane Yolen even got an award. She got the Caldecott Medal Award. I might be saying that wrong. It might be Caldecott. Anyway, she got an award. So they are definitely practiced in their writing, right? They've been doing this for a long time. Well, they had to start somewhere. And when they were in second grade, they didn't write stories like this in second grade, did they? They had to learn how to do it too. And that's what we are going to do. Well, I believe that these professional writers, they don't just go home one day and say, I'm going to write a book called Owl Moon, and it's going to be about a kid going out looking for owls at night with her dad, and I'm just going to write it down today and sell it to a store tomorrow. Do they do that? No. They have to do a lot of work before it can become a book like this that you and I can buy. One thing that many professional writers do is they have a little notebook. They probably don't have Elsa and Anna on their notebook, but this is the notebook that I found at home to use. I would like you to find some kind of little notebook like this, or maybe you can make a notebook. Get some paper, put it together, staple it at the top, or somehow make yourself a little notebook. Professional writers, I believe, have their little notebooks with them, or maybe nowadays they use their phone or a laptop or an iPad or something. But when they have an idea, maybe they're out at a restaurant with some friends and they think of an idea, they quickly write it down. And then the next day or later that week when they're working on their writing, they take out their notebook and they look at their ideas and they start writing their story. That's what we are going to do. So I started one for you so that you could see what it might look like. I am actually going to write this story, and you're going to write a story too, but it's not going to be about my dog, as my story is. You're going to write something that happened in your life. So I want you to be thinking of something you could write about, something that really happened to you. I'm writing about my dog. She got lost in a blizzard one time. And these are the notes that I wrote down to help me write my story. So first of all, I wrote that my dog is white. Her name was Pooh. She was named after Winnie the Pooh. She was lost during a blizzard. She was gone for 3 days. I cried a lot. My dad looked for her every day. We lived out on a farm. My dad worked in town, but every day in the morning before he went to work, he walked up and down the road and looked in the ditches for her. And every day he came home during his lunch break and looked for her some more. And every day after work he looked for her, and every day in the morning I looked for her, and when I got home from school I looked for her. We looked and looked and looked, and we just thought for sure she had died in this terrible blizzard. But on day 4, she was waiting by our door when we got home from school and work. We were so happy to see her. She was covered in burrs, those prickly, pokey things that can get stuck in your, the bottoms of your pant leg, or if you go climb in some bushes, they would get stuck in your hair, and that's what was all over her hair. So we figured that she probably hid under a bush during the worst of the storm and stayed kind of warm under there, and was covered with burrs. So we had to pull all those out. Actually, I think we just cut her hair. And then gave her a nice warm bath, and she was fine, but we were so happy to see her. Anyway, those are my notes. Now, did I write complete sentences? White dog poo, is that a sentence? No. Lost during a blizzard, is that a complete sentence? No, it's not. None of those are complete sentences, except, well, actually, Dad looked every day is a complete sentence. It's about Dad, and what did he do? He looked. So I should put a period at the end. But you don't need to write complete sentences. If you do, I accidentally wrote a complete sentence there. If you do, that's okay, but you should not be thinking about that at all. You're just getting your ideas on paper so that you can go back and write them into good sentences, and so that we can make our stories as interesting as Owl Moon or The Leaving Morning. So in the next couple days, we're going to look at each one of these stories and see what Jane Yolen and Angela Johnson did to make their stories so interesting. Okay, so find a little notebook or some paper, whatever you can find, and start writing down some ideas that you have for a story you could write. Okay, have a good day.